This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 8th year of talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, it's Alex. It's the Ramble, and we go until midnight tonight from the East Coast of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, out to San Francisco, California, we go for the lovely strains of Larry Bubbles Brown. Hello, Bubs.
Yes, happy holidays, which I know we both hate. So
Yeah. Well, happy holiday to you too. And let me ask you a question. You were supposed to go get your eyes done, right?
yeah, this is a bad story. So
It's a bad story.
yeah, it's
Well, mind you, I told him that getting this is what for cataracts that I've had 2 done, and they're like it's a breeze.
Okay, well, it didn't happen. Let me start with that. So,
It didn't happen. Why didn't it happen?
well, I went to the place and I check in, and then they give you a bunch of papers to sign that. Like, you never read them, but I think they say, if we kill you, you can't sue us, things like that.
Yeah, right.
So I'm sitting there, and they put the hairnet on me. We're getting ready to. The nurse starts reading some shit, and something like, I think it was about the twilight sedation, and she says, I don't know if they have to read this, but sometimes some people don't wake up from this. And I got this horrified look on my face.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. They were going to sedate you?
That's what they do to everybody. They give you a little sedation, and they don't put you under.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, like just a little something.
Yeah, I think it's called Twilight. I don't know what it is.
Well, I don't know if it's Twilight. That's kind of like propofol or something like that. But anyway,
it's not heavy, whatever it is. But
just something to calm you down.
I don't know if this is something that never happens, but they have to read you, tell you that in case it does. But so she told me that, and I got the horrified look on my face, and then she goes, well, she said, this is elective surgery. You can cancel this if you want to. And I said, well, this is kind of late to cancel it. She said, no, you can still do it. I just said, yeah, let's cancel it.
Oh, jeez.
So I felt euphoric, and then after I got home, I went into some deep depression for 2 days.
Well, because you should have gotten it.
Yes.
So you're going to go back and get it?
I'll go back if they'll have me. I think they'll probably be mad at me for that.
I think that they'll see you. I mean, they're a hospital. Come on. They want your business, okay? She told you, she was the one that said if you don't want it, you don't have to do it.
She did, yeah. So
yeah. So now this is 2 procedures that you haven't had done that you were going to have done.
Right.
And the reason why we've canceled certain things or moved dates around was because, I wanted to, the last time I wanted to accommodate the fact the next day you might feel a little weird or whatever, so we should do it a week later, right?
Right.
And so...
so it was all for naught.
It was all for naught. Twice. Because Larry Bubbles Brown doesn't want surgery. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah, I must have a deep, deep fear of it. Jesus.
Well, I mean, there's always, you always have a fear. I mean, like when I had my seeds done, the initial radiation wasn't a problem because it's not invasive or anything like that. You just sit there while this robot goes around finding your prostate, But the other one was seeds, and that after I got over that, I mean, the thing that was bothering me about that is I go in and I figure, they're going to sedate me, they're going to give me that Twilight drug that puts you out, and just as you go out, there's this wonderful feeling, okay? But they said, no, we're not going to put you out. And I said, why? They said, you're too old. We don't,
really?
We'd put you out if we felt that, we had to. But we don't have to put you out. We can give you a spinal.
Oh, God.
Well, no, I thought that was going to just hurt and be horrible. It didn't hurt at all. They just, whatever they did, they injected into my spinal area. Next thing I know, they're lifting me onto the surgery table, and I'm lying there, and they're dripping me with like heavy duty, like Valium or something like that was making me feel real loopy and everything. And I said, the terrible thing about that is the guy is working on you, and you can hear everything that's going on in the room, right?
I wouldn't like that.
Well, no, what you're expecting is it's going to be like on TV. Sponge, sutures, scalpel, hand me this, hand me that. Instead, the conversation is, so what are you doing this weekend? And I'm going, pay attention to my goddamn seeds. Yeah. Yeah, my wife and I had an argument last night, and, it's stuff like that. And I'm going, this isn't surgery. This isn't like it is on TV. This isn't George Clooney, So and then after it's over, they take me down to recovery. And I say, well, how long will recovery take? They say, oh, probably with you about 3 hours. So why? I said, because they gave you a spinal. If they put you out, they wake you up, and as soon as you can kind of stand up straight, and there's somebody there to take you out of the hospital, they let you go. But here you can't go until you can walk, right, and take a pee. Okay. They give you this little thing to pee into to see how much you peed, and if you can go up to this level, you're okay. You can leave. Well, I wake up and I'm dead from the waist down. Okay?
That would scare me.
Well, I know what it's like now to be a paraplegic. I mean, it is the most frustrating, horrible thing. I mean, in my case, I was a temporary paraplegic, but nonetheless, I had nothing from the waist down. And I started getting really frustrated about it. I mean, I couldn't feel anything and whatever. And finally, I had this nurse, and she, you got to pee up to here, and I'm going, well, I got to get to the bathroom first. She says, well, that's part of it, So I'm no longer dead from the waist down, and I stumble to the bathroom, and I can't pee up to that level. And I go back to her and I go, I can't pee up to that level. She says, go home. I mean, it's just...
That's medicine. Get the hell out of our hospital.
Yeah, but in spite of the fact that you're dead from the waist down, so...
Well, was it like a numb feeling, or...?
It was like there was nothing there. It's like I didn't have legs.
Ugh, that'd be horrible.
I mean, that's how a paraplegic feels. Just dead from the waist down, and I just laid there, and I was frustrated. I got cranky. I really.
How long did that take to wear off?
About 3 hours.
Jesus.
I never want another spinal.
No, I would not let anybody do that to me.
It's not that there's anything dangerous about it. It does wear off, but while you're waiting for it to wear off, I got really cranky and mean and nasty, and I can't feel anything, and it's very frustrating. So
they inject something in your spine?
I don't know what they do exactly. Yeah, it's something that goes in your spine. Yeah, but I didn't feel it. It was either they numb the area or something, but it didn't. I didn't feel anything. All I know is they put some things, like I think, on my back, and then for a couple of minutes, and then it was over with, and then I couldn't tell when my legs weren't usable any longer, because they had me on the surgery table by that time, so I was lying down, and the guy's got my legs spread, and he's shoving this thing up on They go in between. Do you know what we used to refer to as the tween?
Yeah.
Or the taint. Taint was the best one. Taint ass, taint prick. It's just in the middle. That's where they shove the thing in.
Yeah.
And it's a little device that's there that they put there, and then they go in from there and start inserting the seeds. Of course, you don't feel a thing because you're dead from the waist down, right? The first time I was supposed to go have this done, I'm all prepped. I'm in the ready room. I'm ready to go, and all of a sudden, the nurse comes to me and says, "We're canceling the operation today." And I went, "What?" They were canceling the operation. And I said, "Why?" And she says, "We're missing a part. Your doctor will be down to explain it." And about 15 minutes later, the doctor shows up. He says, "I'm so sorry about this, but there's a thing that goes in your taint. It's whatever that little thing is they put there." And he said they ordered it, but it never came. I'm going, it's Mount Sinai. This is Mount Sinai. This isn't, a hospital in rural Texas, And he says, "Yeah, I'm really mad about this." I said, "You're mad?" He said, "Well, I'll call you tomorrow and we'll rearrange another date." So they did it a week later, finally. They did it. And I was lucky because a week later they closed down this kind of surgery because of COVID. And I wouldn't have been able to get it for a year and a half or something like that.
Oh, gee, you just made it.
I just made it right on the cusp, yeah. So that's my history. But you talk about being, they don't do things for you. That's the ultimate, is when they cancel it just before it's supposed to go on.
So I cancel on them and they cancel on you. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I wanted to get it done. Hey, I've got cancer in me. Let's take care of it. So.
Well, now I've been reading there's a lot of cancellations because they get ready for the surgery and one of the personnel doesn't show up because so many people are not showing up for work anymore.
Oh, jeez. It's getting terrible.
America, so I think we're fourth world at this point.
Well, we can't be sick, Don't get sick, folks. There's no, what are they going to do? It's horrible. It's terrible. But, I don't blame my doctor for that. And the doctor was really pissed. He said, some heads are going to roll here on this one. He said, they know the parts that I need to do this.
Yeah, I don't see how that could happen,
Yeah, but it did happen. And what the hell, that's life. That's, what are you going to do? So what else is happening in your life besides? Well, so you got to go back and get the thing. Go do it, will you? It's very simple, and don't worry about the Twilight drug. You'll enjoy it. It's not. You're not going to die. Okay, I never heard of this one. Well, he died. What happened? Well, he was supposed to have this cataract operation, and then they put him out, and he died. I never heard of anybody dying from a cataract operation.
No, but have you ever had a friend that died during surgery? Or
did I ever have a friend who died? I think I did, but I can't remember who. But that's because I'm almost 83 years old and I don't remember anything anyway. Let me see here. Somebody who died in surgery. No, I don't think I know anybody who died in surgery. Do you?
No, I just know of someone, Rod Serling.
Rod Serling, yeah. Well, also, what's his name? The Muppets. Oz. What's his name? Henson.
Jim Henson.
Jim Henson died having an operation.
Did he?
Yeah, well, here's the irony. He was a Seventh Day. Christian Scientist?
Adventist?
No, Christian Scientist. They don't believe in this sort of thing, right? You can be healed by the power of God. Yeah, right. Okay, I believe that one. You'll be dead really soon.
Well,
okay.
Thought he'd be smarter than that.
Yeah. So anyway, I think he went in. He had something really wrong with him, and he had to be operated on. So they operated on him, and he died. So
Dan Blocker died during a gallbladder surgery, I think.
Really?
He was like 42.
Who dies of a gallbladder operation?
Yeah, that's
you know, I mean, something can always go wrong. I mean, let's face it. You know, we put so much faith in doctors, and really we shouldn't, because you know, my old argument was, okay, so you go to a doctor and you're going to him for the best advice possible, and there's nothing up on his wall. They just have all his degrees, right? But they don't have a thing like, here are his scores on his test.
Here is malpractice.
Because you remember, folks, all you have to do is get 70% of the questions correct in order to pass. Am I right?
Right.
So suppose...
At the bottom of his class.
Yeah, so suppose he flunked gallbladder, but now he's doing a gallbladder operation. You know, you don't know what he did well in and what he didn't do well in and how he did at school. You just see the final product, which is, and I don't even check what schools they're from. You know, it could be the University of Guam, you know, so.
They should show that, how well they scored on things.
Yeah, well, also, there should be a score of, like, how many people that he's worked on that have died.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many, you know. It's amazing that you bring these things up with these people who have died from operations, because this is the kind of information that sticks to your brain.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, who else died in surgery? Do you know?
I'm trying to think. I remember, well, he didn't die during surgery, but remember Robin Williams had some heart valve replaced.
Yeah.
And he told me that was a 9-hour surgery.
Really?
Which I can't imagine. You would think that the surgeon would have a breakdown at some point.
Pardon me for being a little, what's the word I'm looking for, a little bad about this, but Robin Williams had a 9-hour surgery on his heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he went out and committed suicide and ruined all that work.
Yeah.
You ever think about that? You know, I mean, all the work that they did on him, forget it. Didn't matter, right? But he died because he had this. What did he have? It was some kind of syndrome or something.
Lewy body dementia.
Lewy body dementia.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What? You think you're Louis Armstrong, or what is that?
It looks like you have Parkinson's, but it's not. They actually can't diagnose it till they do an autopsy, and he virtually had holes in his brain.
Really?
Yeah, he was. I saw him when he came back from that. He was doing that sitcom, and he came back, and he looked like he was in shell shock. He wasn't acting normal at all, and people that were closer to him told me that the last few weeks he would text you like 400 times in a day.
Really?
He'd ask you what time it was every minute. Then he had moments where he'd have clarity and like he knew he was losing his mind, but he didn't know why, and it just sounds like a total nightmare.
But there's no way they can figure this out and somehow cure it or attend to it?
Even if they could figure there's no cure for it, but they can't really tell what it is until they do an autopsy on your brain.
Well, did he commit suicide as a result of this? Because because of whatever it does to you, it made him want to commit suicide.
Yeah, I don't think he had any choice, really. He was, the last thing they found on his iPad, he was Googling side effects from all the medications they were giving him. Yeah,
well, I mean, what Lewy body dementia?
Yeah, look it up. It's Lewy. It's a weird name. Lewy body dementia.
W-Y?
Mm-hmm. Lewy.
Wow.
Some French guy that discovered it.
Yeah. I mean, did the French guy have it?
Don't think you would have discovered if he had.
Well, it's interesting. They couldn't tell while he was alive that he had it.
No, he did. They knew something was severely wrong, but they didn't know what it was.
Because
and if anybody gets it, they don't know what it is till they die.
There are a lot of diseases that imitate other stuff. I know
this kind of is like a little like Parkinson's.
Yeah.
And apparently, if they give you Parkinson's medicine, that actually makes it worse.
Because my ex-wife Ronnie, had what do you call it? Disease, pancreatic cancer, and she had an operation which only works about 10% of the time, but it seemed to work on her, although she eventually died of cancer. But it would seem to work on her. But that operation is the kind of operation that only works about 10% of the time. But the thing was that she told me at the time, this is what I wanted to say, that she had cancer, but she had pancreatic cancer, but she had all these other symptoms. So she was going to doctors for months with all these different symptoms of what she had. And they were thinking, well, it's this or it's that, but they never thought pancreatic cancer. That's why a lot of people do die of pancreatic cancer, because it's too late. Because they keep
by the time you show the symptoms, it's too late.
Well, no, by the time you show the symptoms, they're then diagnosing the symptoms as something else, So she went around for months saying, I've got this and I've got that and I don't understand this. And finally they said, oh, well, maybe it's pancreatic cancer.
Jesus. That's a bad one.
Oh, that's the worst. But if you get it, you can get it early on if they notice it on something, Like I say, you probably should get a CT scan every month of your life. And then, they probably can see it on a CT scan.
Well, I think Steve Jobs, that's what he died of, and he tried to treat it holistically.
He tried holistically initially, and that's probably what wound up killing him.
That killed him, yeah.
If they say that if they had caught it at the time that he first had the symptoms, that he probably would be alive today, but because they can't operate on it. It's a very complicated operation. I mean, they got to go in and rearrange your organs, and they remove your gallbladder. You don't need that. And then they go in because it's behind something. So they got to lift everything out, and then they got to cut the cancer out, and then they got to sew you back together. And then I think her recovery was something like 4 or 5 months. I mean, it was terrible.
Wow. And
she went through all of that, and then eventually she came down with cancer anyway. It had spread somewhere else. So, but that...
So she might have lived if she would have had a proper diagnosis.
Oh, here we go. Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks, pancreatic cancer. He went to a doctor, and the doctor said, you got 6 months to live. Go home and say goodbye to everybody. And I saw him during that period of time. He knew he was dying. And
he died 3 years after his Letterman appearance that got clipped.
Yeah, well, I saw him at the Punchline. I mean, it was in the back room with him. And he said, I'm quitting the business. And I said, what? He said, yeah, I'm quitting the business. I'm getting out of comedy. And I said, why? I said, you're one of the funniest people alive. This would be like Picasso saying, I'm never going to paint again. And so many other comedians had said that to me. I wouldn't have said, hey, why? I might have said, good idea. But he knew he was dying, and he just was going to go home to Texas and be with his mother and die.
Well, that's the ultimate irony. When things start to go great in show business, then you get a fatal disease.
Yeah, and I remember when I heard that he had died. I was at where was I? I was a comedy club here in New York or something, just hanging out with, or I was hanging out with somebody. I don't know. I just heard about it. Somebody said, "Did you hear Bill Hicks is dead?" So immediately, the first person I called was my friend Shecky. I said, "Guess what about Bill Hicks?" And he said, "What did he do now?" You know.
He died.
I said, "He died." He said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, he's dead." And then he went and told Dave. And the next thing you know, Dave is feeling horrible because they had not, they kicked him off. They didn't kick him off the show. He just didn't, they didn't play his set on the show. So it was a terrible thing. Terrible thing. Hey, listen, we've run out of time here.
Yes, we have. He's like Bill Hicks.
Yeah. And we'll talk to you next week. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Bubbles Brown. Nah.
This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 8th year of talk like you've never heard it before.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Larry Bubbles Brown. Always a pleasure to talk to Larry, and he's so upbeat, and we get into such upbeat topics as death, and then other times we talk about death, and some other times we even just talk about deaths. So anyway, let's see here. What Charlie Wallace said, "My cataract surgery was a breeze, no problem whatsoever." Yeah, I tried to tell him the same thing, Charlie, and he didn't believe me. But when confronted with the paperwork saying if you die, you won't sue us, well, if you're dead, you can't sue him anyway. Okay? All righty? Okay. All right. All right. Anyway, it is Friday. I'm having little breathing problems today. I really think it's what they're doing here. Because I looked out on the ledge of our apartment where they were working yesterday. And there's all this dust and all this debris, okay? And I think that's what's kind of causing my breathing problems. But anyway, or either that I've got cancer. No, but they did a CT scan on me and on my chest, and they didn't find any cancer. So I don't know what it is. It's just getting old. It's just getting goddamn friggin' old. Anyway, let me start admitting all the people that are waiting to come on, which is quite a few of them here. About 5 people, right? Okay, all righty. Let me see here. There they are, as a matter of fact. There's Jeff, and there's Alan, and there is Josh, and there is Charlie. Hello, Charlie. What is that? What does that say on your...
today? My favorite people call me Dad.
My favorite people call me Dad. Isn't that nice? Hi, Dad. Yeah. How many kids do you have?
3.
3? Oh. Okay. And how much are they spaced apart?
2 years apart.
2 years?
We planned it that way.
Really?
Yeah.
And did you want 3? I mean, was 3 the number you decided?
I only wanted 2, but somebody insisted on a 3rd. So.
And if she wants it, you got to do it, right?
Yeah.
How long were you married?
15 years.
Wow. And then all of a sudden one day it went sour?
Yeah, well, more like 1 week, 1 month.
Well, what? You mean here 15 years, you're married for 15 years, you'd figure, well, I don't know. How old were you when you got married?
Oh, I was pretty old. What was that? I was 34.
Really? Because what I was going to say is when you get married, you usually get married young, and by the time you reach 15 years, you're 2 different people. You know?
But that kind of happened anyway.
Really?
Some of us don't grow up right away.
Oh, you're blaming her for that?
Oh, I'm blaming me too.
Yeah.
I was a late bloomer.
Yeah. Did you get married again?
No, that was my second marriage.
That was your second marriage?
Yeah, and I haven't made that mistake.
What happened to... Did you have any kids in the first marriage?
No kids in the first marriage.
Oh, okay. I don't want you to be another like what do you call it?
Not like Herschel Walker. I don't have kids.
Or
spread all over the place.
Elon Musk. He's got like 9 kids.
Yeah, cool. Well, of course, he's rich enough.
He can afford it. You know,
Hmm.
maybe not in a few weeks after this whole Twitter thing. You know, but did you want to say something, Alan?
No, I was just had my finger in the air. I'm sorry.
I have this finger in the air. How do you like that? Huh?
It's going to surprise us all when Elon Musk makes Twitter the #1 profitable company in the world.
It won't happen.
It will surprise me if that happens.
It's
Yeah,
not
it would surprise me too. Hopefully he'll buy Fox News next.
Yeah. Well, Rupert will not get rid of that. I'm watching a documentary on Rupert Murdoch that was done by CNN in 6 parts. It's very microscopic. I mean, every inch of his life, every problem, everything. And it's a very interesting story. I mean, if you don't want to see the documentary, just watch any episode of Succession, and you pretty much got it. Okay? Because the whole thing is basically about the kids and who's going to survive him, who's going to be the leader. And he had them all vying for position all their lives. And his second wife hated it, just hated it. She thought it was very destructive to the children. But they, and so I looked at Marjorie and I went, this is Succession. I didn't realize that's what they base Succession on. So anyway, what the hell? And then you watch it and you say, what a dick Rupert Murdoch is, what a conniving bastard. And you walk away feeling that you've always been right about him, But anyway. Hi, Josh. How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Yeah. What you been doing? Anything?
Nothing out of the ordinary, I guess. Routine.
Really? Okay. All right. Anything in the news that's been floating your boat?
I know there's been a few things going on, I guess. The Trump team lost, again at the 11th Circuit with their special master deal. So that district court judge that set all that up has been pretty much put down 3 times now. I think the first time in the 11th Circuit on one question, and then the Supreme Court turned him down for a stay, and then they go back to the 11th Circuit for something else, and they lost again. And they pretty much,
And then he had to give up his tax records.
And they pretty much ripped that judge pretty good in their opinion, So,
well, she was just serving her master, basically.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So, I mean, that it's not, that's not good for him. I mean, that's good, overall. I think, that they were right all along, I mean, the Justice Department's been pretty fair. They've been following the law. If you don't like the fact that he's being investigated, I mean, it's okay, but it's legit. So, that's good. I think that's good for people who were, who waver a little bit sometime with the judiciary. You just have to remember there's a whole lot of judges in the federal courts, and just because one of them is a piece of garbage, doesn't mean that, you can't have faith in the American system. I mean, you put enough people in any job, there's going to be a couple pieces of garbage there.
Well, especially if they were picked by Donald Trump.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of interesting, though, that same kind of loyalty that she had to Trump doesn't follow through to the appointments on the Supreme Court. They seem to be voting against him.
Yeah. So, I mean, which is what I thought from the beginning. I mean, that's why I didn't particularly, worry over it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I knew that those folks would have a sort of judicial philosophy that would not line up with what a lot of you guys would like, and me in some cases.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel then, and I still don't now, and I think there's some proof of it, that they would just be, purely, what's the case before us? You know, US v. Trump, all Trump, we're good. You know, let's break for lunch.
Yeah, I mean, our worst fear, I mean, Charlie, I'm sure you have this fear about the Supreme Court, and it doesn't seem to be true. It seems to be that they, so far, all the things that have come before them regarding Trump and his taxes and, you know, this current judgment that he can't have a special master, it's all going against him, which probably he's sitting there going, have they no loyalty? I got them their jobs and blah, blah, blah. Well, that wasn't the reason you gave them their jobs, is so you could go out and commit a crime and get away with it, you know?
Right. I mean, they've done the right thing there, but I mean, I thought, you know, during their confirmation, or, you know, when they were appointed and everything, that I think that a lot of people were under the impression that Trump was using them to get what he wanted, and I always thought it was the opposite. They were using Trump to get what they wanted, which was a job on the Supreme Court.
But my question to you, because you follow the Supreme Court, you know, that's one of the things you enjoy watching. Would you say the people that were appointed by Trump were the best people we could get for that job?
I would say not. Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, no. I mean, you know, because they're not people that I would have appointed.
Well, but I'm saying just for pure qualifications, did they have anything going?
Well, I think they were qualified. Yeah. I mean, they had, you know, sound legal training and education and experience and things of that nature. I just don't happen to agree with them on stuff. I mean, some of it I sometimes do. Look, I have some conservative tendencies when it comes to separation of powers and things like that. I mean, you know, one of the things that will, you know, is going to come up that'll surprise people is, you know, this student debt forgiveness case. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I mean, you know, listen, I am one of the people that will get the $10,000 taken off, right? Mm-hmm. But it's probably going to go to the court, and it's probably going to lose. And I have to be honest with you, it probably should. And that has nothing to do with how I feel about it. Okay? It's my money too. And I'm not saying it's not good. When you say
it's going to lose, you mean?
Why do you think it should lose?
Because I don't think the president of the United States has the power to do that. That's the only reason. Oh. I think Congress has the power to do that. But I don't think the president of the United States has the power, or necessarily should have the power, to say cancel. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm trying to think where they're going to draw their argument from that he does. I mean, you know, it has to be a constitutionally granted power. It can't just, the argument can't be, well, it's good for America, or it's the right thing to do. I mean, I know all that sounds ridiculous, but that's...
Yeah, but you know something?
The legal argument.
Biden wins either way. He wins if he can do it, and he wins if he can't do it. Because if he can't do it, then people like yourself and people like Charlie, who are going to get themselves a nice little check, are now going to blame the Republicans for not being able to get it.
Right.
So it's a win-win for Biden.
So politically, it's not a bad move for Joe Biden, or maybe even the Democratic Party at large, because it moves the issue finally to the forefront, right? So I have no problem with that. But I'm just saying, I can understand legally in a few months or whatever this, I haven't looked at the timeline yet. You know, I know there's a stay on it right now. I mean, I can certainly see this particular court being very skeptical that the executive branch should have that kind of power, which, by the way, if you think about it, is exactly the opposite of what someone like Donald Trump would think when he appointed them, because Trump thinks that the executive should be all powerful, right? Yeah. That's why he put those people on the bench, so they would do anything he wanted, or at least in his mind, that's what he thought, you know. But like I said, they didn't think that. They used him just as much as he thought he was using them. Mm-hmm. He's an idiot. I mean, but I don't see those members thinking that the executive, whoever it is, has the power to, even though he runs the federal government, the executive branch, telling, the Department of Education that they don't have to collect this money, that it's just gone. I mean, there have been like debt forgivenesses before for all kinds of different things, and defense contractors get let out from underneath their bank, you know what I'm saying? But Congress did those things. Congress does those things. I mean, when we gave bailout money to the banks, George Bush didn't just say they get $1 billion, they get a bit, right? He signed legislation that Congress passed that said that. And he fought for it, and it maybe was he architect of the plan, right? But Congress passed it. I mean, that's all I'm saying is that, legally and constitutionally, the way that it works, I think it's sketchy. I thought it was sketchy before.
You know what's kind of interesting?
But I get it.
What's kind of interesting to me is the whole notion of some people that why should we forgive those debts? And my answer is, these people got a college degree, which made them go out and be slightly larger wage earners than they would have been without that college degree. And that resolved itself in more taxes being paid. And whatever talent they got as a result of that college education was being applied to the betterment of this country. So, I mean, what's wrong about taking care of people's college education?
And just, like, so that I'm clear, in my opinion, nothing. Yeah. I think it is the exact right thing to do. Actually, I think it should go a lot further. And I have a lot of personal experience with this and know a lot of other people. I have no problem with the policy. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm serious. And I'll be and my wife will be a direct benefactor of such.
Yeah.
I just don't know that
I will be too.
Went about was gonna, hold up, Now, if Congress passes it, then it's 100% legit, and it's great, But I agree. I mean, I think money was given to banks and corporations and lots of other people, and forgiveness during COVID and all that. I mean, so it's the damn people's turn, if nothing else, So I'm 100% on board with the idea. I mean, I just don't want anyone to think that I came on and said I didn't think that. And this Republican nonsense about, and that's where it comes from, about how people shouldn't deserve it. And these people went to Harvard and now they make $800 million a year. And all. That's such a that's horse shit. That's some Ted Cruz lying to you. Horse shit. And he'd be the first one to cash his $10,000 check. And he can stick it right up his ass as far as I'm concerned. But so I like the policy. It just, but I do think it will lose when it goes to the court.
Yeah. By the way, we have what?
I hope he's wrong.
Yeah. We have Bree in Malaysia, ladies and gentlemen, and he's in some kind of store. It looks like it's a store run by Etsy. What are you? Where are you?
Well, this particular store has a lot of the local products. It's known for the local products. So I'm just having a look at what's on offer. But it would be gifts that I would send back for Christmas, that I would
back to the United States.
We have an American passport. Yeah, American passport holder.
American passport holder?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That'll cost you. Guess how much that'll cost you? 20 cents.
20 cents?
I was going to say $5.
20 cents.
I went on to Amazon yesterday to buy
It was 5 ringgit. Now it's 1.
Really? So here's what happens. I went on to Amazon yesterday, and I wanted to buy some stuff I normally buy. Some of it isn't there anymore. I mean, it's amazing how many of them weren't there. There's some creamer I buy, they don't have that. There's some other stuff that I buy they didn't have. And what they did have had raised about $5 in price. I mean, Amazon is got some kind of trouble going for it. I don't know what it is, So
Chasing those greenbacks.
chasing the greenbacks, yeah.
Well, I get the Whopper Junior here, and for a long time it was 6 ringgit and 90 cents, and now it's 8 ringgit 80 cents.
Now,
So it's gone up
how
2
much is a
ringgit.
ringgit in American?
It's about 4 ringgit to a dollar. Usually maybe 4.3, 4.3.
You just figure four to
So
kind
4
of
to a
figure it
dollar.
out. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
About right, $2 for a while.
Yeah, $2 for a Whopper. Is that about right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Burger
That's right.
King in maybe 30 years.
Whopper Junior.
Whopper Junior.
I get the Whopper Junior. Yeah.
Why do you get the Junior? I mean, you would think if you went into
I
Burger
don't want the
King,
whole. I don't need the whole thing.
you'd want to get something called the Whopper. You know.
The Whopper's
I
pretty
get Whopper
big.
for Junior.
You know what I didn't like about the Whopper? It never. They always. I think they maybe grilled them, but then they put them in a microwave to warm them up, and I just never liked their burgers. I almost like McDonald's burgers better, because when they were fresh, they were okay, you know. So anyway,
I went into this. Speaking of fresh, I was at this McDonald's. And I got a fillet of fish.
mm-hmm.
I ended up going back and getting another one because I thought the first one was so good. It tasted like they breaded it in the bag. And so after I thought, oh no, this is a fluke. I got the second one. I ate 3. I went and got 3 of them because it tasted like they were breading it in the bag. And now I've gone back subsequently to that same one. No, they've never had it that way again. But boy, the day I was there, I took pictures of it. I couldn't believe.
Well,
how
you know what
good
happens?
The fillet of fish was at McDonald's.
No, here's what happens. So they make them, and then they put them under those lights to keep them warm for a while. So if you can get a burger, for instance, or a fillet of fish or whatever, when it just comes out of the back room,
Yep.
you're gonna have some fairly decent eating. But let those things sit under the lights for 5 minutes, and they're a waste. You know what is that?
The fan.
No.
That's a fan.
Okay. Locally.
Yeah, you need a fan here. It's hot.
Yeah. How hot is it?
This is nice. It's usually between 80 and 95 here.
Mm-hmm.
Usually between 80 and 95.
Well, we've been joined by Kevin. Hello, Kevin. I don't know what it is when he starts. He has all that noise in his picture, and then as he's on, it goes away. And I don't know what could possibly be causing that.
So pretty.
You know? There.
I don't know.
See, it's starting to disappear now. Pretty soon it won't even be there. You know? So. And Jeff, how you doing?
Good.
Good? Oh,
I
okay.
went to see my dentist today.
Really?
You know what he did? Nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah,
What do you mean nothing?
And charged you $300.
of course. He looked a little bit. They cleaned it up around and said, "We'll see you in 6 months again."
Yeah.
Really?
Guess it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So you get a bill for it, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The thing I never liked about the dentist was you always went in and got insulted. You know? Like, have you been,
you're not brushing your teeth.
you're not
enough.
flossing enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You
Always,
got to use a certain toothpaste.
and the other thing is they want you to like come in 4 times a year to get your teeth cleaned when your insurance will only pay for 2.
Yeah.
Mine only does it twice a year.
Really? It should only be twice a year. So I just keep saying, I'll call you in a couple of weeks. And I just wait, and then I do it about twice a year, you know. And this time, I've been brushing my teeth every day, maybe twice a day, all right? I want to go back and tell her, boy, you have not been, there's a lot of tartar there. You haven't been doing it, you know. You know, but, so, it's yeah. And let me see here. So anyway, Well, I don't want to get into that. I've been having some problems with my lawyer.
Oh no.
Ooh.
No, but what happened is I get this bill every month. They slip it on under my door of what I owe for rent. Okay, and they have the rent that they think it's supposed to be like $22.25, and then it says but credit so much, and then it comes out to the $500 that we're paying. All right, now that's fine. And I know why they're doing it, because probably at the end of the year they can go to the government and say, "Hey, we lost this much money," or
Alex,
whatever.
you pay less than I do?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I pay less than anybody in America.
Yeah.
Okay.
My
But
God.
anyway,
I don't that's impossible.
yeah. But anyway,
Of course, you had to go through hell.
yeah. But then I get then every month on it says $2,500 in arrears. And I'm going, we had paid every single thing we had to pay. So then my what do you call it? My business
Lawyer.
manager, my accountant, says to me, "You know where I think this money went? We gave him $2,500 at the beginning of this thing for him to send to the landlord. What 2,000 check for 2,000 to pay the month's rent plus 3 other months' rent before it, okay, and then $500 as a deposit, all right, as a security deposit." And we sent that to the lawyer because he had to then send it on to their lawyer. But this thing has constantly been on there, and we didn't know what it was for. And he says, that's probably what it's for. So we then checked with the lawyer, and he checked with his accountant, and they never cashed the check. Now, am I wrong? But isn't the lawyer supposed to check on this to make sure it got
They
paid?
don't.
Huh?
Supposed to, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
You have to check them.
Huh?
You got to check them.
Well, I mean, finally, we figured this thing out, and they had it on the books that they had never cashed the check. And the lawyer didn't do anything about it. He didn't even think about it. You know. Do me a favor, Bree. Would you turn off your audio, or just mute your audio, because there's too much ambient sound going on there. Yeah. So, at least I know where that $2,500, is supposed to come from. But it's certainly, it's not in my pocket, and it's probably in the lawyer's pocket. So we wrote him and told him, do something about this, get that arrears off of there, because we paid it,
Yeah, I'm dealing with something similar now, Alex, where I had signed a 1-year lease, and because my visa is only 1 year, which is a little crazy. I don't know why the government does this, but so I had to sign a new lease, and then he wanted to raise the rent, so my deposit had to go up. So I had to pay the rent plus the extra deposit.
Yeah.
And he still hasn't signed the new lease, and I'm 4 weeks away from knowing, am I moving or am I staying or what? So
No.
I'm just assuming everything is fine and that we're just going to stay there.
Yeah. But anyway, he's in Malaysia, ladies and gentlemen, and he only pays 3 cents a month in Malaysian money. Hey, look who's here again. He was on last night, and here he is again. It's Bathtub Brian. Oh, well, Ray Renati has joined us.
Hello.
But here's a Bathtub Brian. Now, I love Brian Neary, but if he calls, then I got the problem I had last night. What is that? Is that a live Santa Claus, or is that just a mechanical Santa Claus?
Mechanical.
My father used to have a saying for this, and it was, "Gee, Christmas is at our throats again."
Don't give Santa a hard time. I mean, this is how Kevin pays for his Harley, by playing Santa every year.
Well, he doesn't. You're not going to do Santa this year, are you, Kevin?
I'm doing it once for my daughter's concert Thursday. That's it.
Okay. But you used to do it every year. That was a moneymaker for you.
Yeah, Harley.
Why did you stop doing it? Your health or what?
COVID.
COVID, just COVID. Okay.
Snotty little kid.
Snotty little kids, yeah, those little.
Yeah.
And they probably still are passing it. You know what happened? My friend Shecky went to Thanksgiving with his brother who came into town, spends a lot of money, very wealthy guy, maybe got $1 billion, you know. And he comes in and he buys 15 of his family. They all get together at this hotel and they have a big, beautiful meal and all kinds of food and so on and so forth. And then they went home and many of them got COVID.
Oh, God.
Yeah, his brother got COVID. And he was sick too. He was really sick. But he did one of the home tests and it didn't say he had COVID. So he went down to I have to check back with him. He went down to this walk-in clinic or whatever and did a test, and they were supposed to get back to him on it. So, but I mean, imagine you go for Thanksgiving dinner, and what did you get? Did you have turkey? Yeah. What else did you have? COVID. You know, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
The East Coast is really high transmission right now.
Why?
It always starts on the East Coast. I don't know, because it's a lot colder, I think. A lot more people are inside gathering.
Yeah, well, I haven't gone out at all. You know, I don't go out. I don't take walks or anything lately.
I know the feeling.
It's too cold.
Makes me very nervous.
Well, I just don't do, not because it makes me nervous. You know, I mean, let's face it. I've had all the shots, all the vaccines.
Yeah. And you wear a mask.
Yeah, I guess. I feel, you know, I feel like I'm a dog. Has he had all his shots?
I think if you have your shots, if you're up to date on your shots and you wear a mask where there's crowds, you know, most people that I know that do that don't get COVID. I haven't got COVID yet.
I did.
I got a cold.
I have all the shots. I wore a mask all the time and I got COVID.
Okay, well, it's not 100%.
Well, no, you can still get COVID. The vaccine doesn't prevent you from getting COVID, but it prevents you from getting a bad case of COVID.
Yeah.
You know?
I had a very, very mild case, but ever since I've had it, I have the worst insomnia, and they can't figure out how to get rid of it. I have to take pills every night.
And I think Ray thinks he's now an actor.
What? I think I'm an...
The long COVID gave you the I'm an actor
delusion, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Joking with you, Ray.
Yeah, act like
that's all right.
Act like you have COVID. Come on, you know.
I got the COVID.
Paxlovid, boy, that's the miracle drug.
And seen, you know. But,
yeah, Paxlovid is the miracle drug for.
Well, they're saying some stuff about Paxlovid though that. You know, it's like the ounce of prevention is not worth a pound of cure in this case. That the Paxlovid does cause a lot of side effects, and Marjorie did not tolerate it well. I tolerated it fine, but she didn't.
I'll bet you can take any pill except your pregabalin fine, and she probably can't take most pills fine, right?
No, I'm the one that's very sensitive to almost like anything like pregabalin or if I take
Did she take the whole? I know the doctor split the dose for you on the Paxlovid. Did he split the dose for her too?
Yeah, the reason is that if you're over 75, it can have adverse effects on the kidneys. One of the components of Paxlovid. So they're like 2 pills you take or something at a time. Well, you don't take one of those, and you still get the effect of the Paxlovid, but it doesn't impact your kidneys.
So they're 2 different antiviral.
Why is it all the time on this program all we talk about is medicine?
I just got my oil changed today. It was really dirty.
I got air on my tires.
Oh, that's another thing. The person who does your oil probably says you really should do this more often. You know,
always.
Hey, look who's here, folks. So, somebody who doesn't make it to the show very often. It's Patrick Blazik.
Patrick.
Hi.
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 How you doing?
I'm alive and kicking and all that.
Whoa.
Hey, listen, I wanted
I
to ask
remember
you.
you.
You're a Star Wars fan, right? Have you watched Randor?
No, I have not.
You should. It's
My life is more valuable than that piece of shit show.
Well, how do you know it's a piece of shit if you haven't watched it?
I have friends who are even more diehard than me that told me just fucking wait until you're sick on a weekend and you can kind of fall asleep and wake up. They said the first 2 episodes were so awful that it took one of my friends 4 days to watch.
I agree with that, but by the time you get to the end, it's very good.
Yeah.
It's like the Star Wars universe if they did a espionage thriller.
I don't know, man. It sounds like it's slower than me trying to walk.
The beginning is very slow. I have to agree. I only got to about the 3rd episode and gave up on it. And then I had nothing to do one day, so I went back to it. And I said, this thing got better. You know,
It might be like that, but yeah. No, I right now life is worth more like taking a shit, that sort of thing. So, I'll wait.
Well, that's a healthy way of looking at life.
Yeah. A good shit is always a good thing.
A good shit is always a thing. And what's the doggy's name again?
What's that?
No,
Foxy.
Foxy?
Foxy, yeah.
Why do people name their dogs as another animal? Does she know that her name isn't?
She was named by the breeder, and we never changed it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Or dog doesn't even have a smile on its face.
You know something? People say, "Oh, look, my cat's smiling at me,"
Yeah, right.
and I'm going,
Really?
"I'm sorry. That's the same expression your cat has all the time."
Right.
You know, animals do not make expressions with their faces.
This one does.
No. You impose that on them.
Yeah, when you offer them scallops for Thanksgiving, the dog's like, "No, I'll pass."
Well, that's Jeff. That's over at Jeff's house where they have scallops on Thanksgiving.
Sounds good to me.
What did you do for Thanksgiving, Patrick?
Went over by my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And there were maybe 15 of us, and it was fine.
That's great.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
There were 15 at the thing that Shecky went to, and they all got COVID. Yeah.
He didn't get it though, right?
None of us really. I don't think any of us have gotten it. I was sick like 2 months ago, but it was like a weekend bug is what I had, and sniffles, and I didn't have a fever or anything. Yeah. No chill, just so I don't know.
By the way,
there's a lot of other things other than COVID going around.
By the way, don't you all wish that we all had Wi-Fi as good as Bree has right now in that mall? Because this picture hasn't broken up once.
Nope.
And it looks really good.
My new iPhone, like your iPhone 13, has high-speed 5G, and it comes out like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That isn't 5G.
High-speed 5G does.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is that 5G you're using, Bree? It is?
Yeah.
Five thumbs up. I don't know what that was.
That's the big difference when you're walking around. 5G is really good at a good picture. I don't know.
Yeah. That place is huge, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yes. I think if you walk through that, you get a CT scan. Alex, you can go through it once a month through that arch.
Yeah.
What shithole country is he in?
He's in
Malaysia.
Malaysia. But where in Malaysia? Kuala Lumpur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in what is called the Klang Valley. The state is called Selangor. So
Really?
it's a little south of KL, but yeah, I'm still on the train lines, you know, on the LRT.
Is that a bookstore?
For,
It's huge.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
They have this wonderful books wall. It's just amazing, you know.
What is that?
I just love it here.
What is that?
Bookstore. Bookstore.
Is
It's a bookstore.
It's a bookstore.
It's
Wow.
just, yeah, it's really massive.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, anyway, turn off your audio there, Bree.
Yeah, you can hear the.
We're getting all the Christmas music, and I'm getting a rash. You know, we Jews do not take to Christmas music that well.
Oh no.
Yeah. I had a friend by the name of Michael Pritchard, who was a comedian in San Francisco, and Michael. I have to start this story by saying was at one time he was a recovered alcoholic. All right. So now we're at they get a bunch of us to go down to Union Square in San Francisco and sing Christmas songs. And they asked me if I would do it, and I said, "Oh, okay. You know, I'll be a good Joe when it comes to this kind of thing." So I go to this thing. And we're up there and we start singing, and there, you know, jingle bells, jingle bells. Well, I'm fine with that, right? And but then all of a sudden, it's Silent Night, Holy Night, all, and you know, when it gets to Round Yon Virgin, Mother and Child, I'm sorry, I just can't do it. I'm a Jew. I'm afraid I'm going to burst into flame, you know, if I sing that. So I start humming it. And Michael Pritchard, who at least was another 5 feet taller than I am, looks down at me and goes, "Come on, Alex, couldn't sing, it couldn't hurt." And I looked back at him and I said, "Michael, have a drink, it couldn't hurt." I mean, it was just something about singing Christmas carols that I cannot do. Yes.
So, kind of like this, 20 years ago, my father died, and he had a living trust, living will. Mm-hmm. And my sister and I went to the Bank of San Diego. He was in San Diego, and they brought in one of their bank officers so we get the money out. And we had to put our hand on the Bible and raise our right hand or left hand or something. And my sister, we finished this, and the guy says, "Are you going to put your hand on the Bible?" I said, "No, we're Jewish." And he didn't know what to think. He said, just do it for the sake of the thing. I'm like, okay. Put my hand, and my sister says, "Do you know that you had your wrong hand on the Bible and the other hand was in the air?" And I'm like, nope, didn't even pay attention. How stupid. Put your hand on the Bible.
I don't think they'd be allowed to do that today.
Probably not. It was more than 20. It was 1992, 30 years ago.
No, wait a minute. Now, which Bible was it? Was it the Old Testament or the New Testament?
I don't know.
No, if it was
whatever they had in the bank.
Well, if it was the Old Testament, you'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, the Torah is based on the Old Testament.
Well, no, you know, it's.
Yeah. Well, who knows? I don't know.
Well, no, it
just seems strange. You know, we had the documents, and it said that the money's now ours. And the other banks that we went to, my father banked at 8 different banks. The other banks that we banked at, he banked at, you know, they just wanted the documents. We signed them and they wrote us a check.
Yeah.
Bank of San Diego wanted us to put our hand on a Bible and raise our other hand and say, "I swear that."
Yeah.
Focus.
Well.
What is that car?
Well, obviously, it's a car in trouble.
Mm-hmm. What the hell?
Where's Jack Bishop?
It's a piece of artwork, I guess.
Yeah. So,
was that Michael Pritchard? Was that Michael Pritchard, the guy who writes the kids about how to raise your teenagers? The books about how to raise your teenagers?
You know, yeah, I think he probably did. It sounds like him. Sounds like him.
You know,
but he
Patrick are wearing the same shirt.
He went to a hospital once, and for children. What did I hear that he leaned down at a kid and said, "You know, you're going to die soon."
Oh, Jesus.
And he thought he was being nice about it or something like that, and he wasn't, you know.
What?
Yeah, something like that, or a question about how's it feel to be, dying. Oh no, I know what it was. Don't worry, kid. You're going to meet God soon. That was it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was it.
If he was in Texas, the kid would say, "You're going to meet him soon," or he'd pull out a gun out of under the covers and shoot the guy.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Texas.
Yeah. Anyway,
Sorry, Jeff.
Brian is somehow in a foggy daze there. I don't know why where he went or what he's doing. How you doing tonight, Brian?
Back to Brian.
Brian?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Oh, Alex, how you doing?
Well, nobody ever asked, so But you don't ask me, because then I'll tell you, oh God, I have a canker sore on my tongue today, and
I'm pretty excited because a friend of mine was involved with an auction down in Maryland, and he was able to get. Can you see these?
You know what it is? You have it on that foggy thing. On that. Well, I think the zoom is on that. You blur out the background, so when you show something like that, it doesn't show up.
Right.
Well, now, there's.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, it's a drum or a coffin. What?
Those
drums, but yeah, short coffin, whatever. Fuck it.
Well, wait a minute. So he went. Where did he get those?
I got them at an auction. I'm a big drummer, and I play with the Philadelphia Brigade Band, Civil War reenactment band, blah 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 blah. I built these things. Then these come along, and they show up at an auction, and it's like $2,000 worth of custom drums.
Wow!
So I put a bid in, and I get them for like $200, and I go, oh, I didn't have to do any of this shit. All I had to do was wait, but of course that was years later. Yeah, I mean, look at them.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, wait a minute, Josh. You. Well, you're always interested in the Civil War. Do you have any question to ask this guy who reenacts the Civil War?
Nothing in particular. I mean, where does he live at?
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Lives in New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey.
Yeah, I played with the Philadelphia Brigade Band, Second Brigade that showed up in the.
So do you dress up like you're in the Civil War?
We do, yes.
Really?
Wow.
We should have you come on some night dressed in the outfit.
Yeah.
God damn it! Whatever you want, I'll do it.
There you go.
And to be honest with you, we go out there and we gig a lot. Those guys really do. So, every couple of weeks I'm out there doing a parade or whatever.
Really?
With these guys. Yeah.
So there's that much of a call for it.
Oh, there's quite a lot of reenactment. I mean, there's a lot of the larger sites have them on anniversaries and things like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty popular.
Cool.
Yeah. Who do we lose?
Fun.
Who do we lose here?
We lost.
We're nothing more than a community band. That's all it is.
Do you wear that? You carry the guns and stuff, and if Trump is seen, you fire at him, or no?
What?
Never mind. Bad joke.
It's his Trump. It's his bad Trump joke for the night.
Yeah, that's right. Do you carry the weapons?
No, wait a minute. Now, Charlie, who did you say left us?
Kevin.
Oh,
Kevin.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. As a band, no, we don't carry weapons.
Okay.
There are guys who do reenactments and stuff, but the only reason why we dress up is just to look the part. And so.
That's cool.
Yeah, we go out to Gettysburg. We have a good time. I mean, it's a good active group. It's a community band. They play original pieces. So we're talking about, brass over the shoulder instruments, cornets, things like that, all from the 1860s. And that stuff costs money to maintain. That's why when we go and we do parades, we have to charge what we charge. But we're all volunteers.
What's the main cost of maintaining them? Because the stuff that makes the thing work is old and ancient, and you have to kind of keep it up and have people servicing it and so on.
Yeah, and we have all kinds of uniforms. We have formal dress uniforms with the scabbards, and we have.
Well, you're a drummer, and then you got a fife player? Do you have a fife player?
No, we don't have a fife player.
Oh, because then you could have one with a bandage on his head, and you could look like, That's the Revolutionary War. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, we're a brass band, so. We emulate the Philadelphia Brigade Band, which was a group that went into the Civil War and marched with the 2nd Brigade, which was the Philadelphia Brigade, Irishmen, Germans, things like that. Mm-hmm. And we were at the Battle of Gettysburg and things like that. So what we do is we just reenact that. So and we play with period instruments,
mm-hmm.
We're just a bunch of fucking geeks. Most of the people that do this stuff are educators, band directors, things like that. I mean, it takes a special individual to be into this shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So that's the deal.
Yeah. So anyway, let me see here. What else is happening? What's happening in the news? Anything?
Trump had the railroad workers.
What? What did you say?
The January
wait a minute. One at a time. Charlie? What?
And they're screwing over the railroad workers.
Yeah, I wondered. I thought the Democratic Party was really pro-union.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Bree says he's got to sign out. He sent a message to us.
All right.
And he's got to sign out. Goodbye, Bree. Thank you. Lovely tour today, Bree. Yeah. Terrific. Anyway, what was I saying? I was
about the railroad Democratic Party.
Yeah, the Democratic Party has usually been very pro-union, and this is kind of an anti-union thing.
Why don't they take the money they're going to give people for the schools? For instead of giving everybody back their money, the $10,000 for school, give it to the railroad.
Railroad money, they're making record profits.
When I heard that what they were fighting over was that the railroads were giving, what do you call it, 1 day sick leave pay. I went.
Actually, they're giving 0.
No, weren't they? But they wanted to give them 1. And I'm going, who gets sick for 1 day? I mean, it's terrible. But I mean, it's doesn't it seem to you, Josh, like it's so unlike the Democrats to go against the unions?
Yeah, I mean, they're generally, union supporters. I mean, I think they're still recognizing the right of people to unionize, but also, I guess, weigh in against the effects of a strike. So certain industries are certainly more vulnerable nationally than others, so they've decided to try to do that. I don't even really know what they came up with.
I thought that they finally agreed to 7 days.
They split it into 2 bills, and the 7-day bill lost.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What is
bullshit about splitting it up?
But what is with people that they can't vote with people? I mean, it's so mean. Oh, we're not going to give you. I mean, how many days sick pay do you get in the Congress? It's probably like 30.
Each month. 30 a month.
No, is it? It's 30 a month. Well, wait a minute. If you can only take 1 sick day, is that 1 sick day a year? Or you got one paid?
Year, yeah.
Oh, for the whole year. Oh, okay. Because I was saying you just get sick, come back to work for 2 days, cough in people's faces, and go home for another day and get,
That's what I would do. I'd come to work sick and coughing on my boss's faces.
Well, if people are sick and they're not going to come to work because they're afraid they're not going to get paid, I mean, do you really want people working while they're sick?
No.
Stay home. Don't give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you got a cough, walk into your boss's office, say, sorry about the cough. I just tested positive for COVID. And
Yeah, but I only had one sick day, and I used that yesterday.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
The Congress could have forced the company, the railroad companies, to give them sick days. They could have come up and passed a law that said they'd give them 7 sick days. But
leave it to our Congress.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not going to get any better now that the Republicans are going to be controlling it.
Yeah, nothing will get done for 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to go after Hunter Biden's computer and.
Oh yeah, that's all they'll do.
They want to stop giving money to Ukraine, and and I mean, everything the American people don't want to do, the Republicans want to do.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Did you see Kanye on Alex Jones?
Yeah, I saw. I saw a bit of that. If in fact that was Kanye, I don't know. The guy was wearing a mask.
Yeah,
it sounded like it.
He did sound like him.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he was amazing.
Well,
I love Hitler.
Well, here were 2 mistakes he made. He invented the highway.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And he invented microphones.
Yep.
And I'm going, really? Now,
wow, you're really old.
Maybe he invented a thing called the Autobahn, which was like a freeway. But a highway, no, he didn't invent a highway. Highways came to be because you had to have something to drive on, okay?
Oh, the Romans had highways.
Yeah, the Romans had highways, okay?
He just allocated the funds for the Autobahn. That's all he did.
Yeah, but, I mean, maybe what he was trying to say was the Autobahn. Also, I'm sorry, I use microphones all the time. And believe me, they existed before Hitler. Otherwise, how did we do radio in the 20s?
Yeah.
Right.
I love my Hitler brand microphone.
Yeah, your Hitler brand.
It works.
It's got a little mustache on it.
Yeah, it's got a little mustache.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
You got a hand holding out like this.
Yeah. I'm.
Yeah, right.
Hey.
Gotta get her right here.
But I mean, yeah, he was even Alec Jones was telling him he was wrong. Okay, that's how wrong he was. You see, I was amazed. Alec Jones was saying to him, "Hey, you're wrong about that." And I'm going, since when did I suddenly start rooting for Alex Jones?
He out Alex Jones.
Yes, he did. Anyway, hey,
some big company today announced, I don't forget the company name, that they're no longer allowing Kanye or whatever.
Well, Twitter.
Twitter. Elon kicked them back off.
That's right. Twitter is the one that kicked them off.
Yeah. And so, I mean, so he's got nowhere to go. Life is terrible for him. Yes, Brian, you want to say something quickly? Oh,
me? No, please. I hear
Pete.
the music. I love
Oh, you
I
hear
love
the music. Yeah, I hear the music too.
I love you, buddy.
Yeah. Great having you here today, Brian. Thank you for joining us 2 days in a row for this guy. Okay.
That was a big deal.
Jeff, thank you so much. Always appreciate it. Alan, very nice. Josh, we think the world of you and love having you here. Charlie, get lost. No. How about, that you wouldn't say that to Charlie because he's such a nice guy. How can you say anything nasty about Charlie?
He's terrific.
And thank you to Ray, and thank you again to Brian, and thank you, Patrick. Good seeing your face here, fella. Nice, really nice. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you. Okay. There they go, folks. That's our citizen panel for tonight. Goodbye. See you later. We'll be convening in a couple of minutes over there on the intersection, which Jack will be doing tonight. I will see you again on Monday for the pop-up show on Facebook, and then we will see you right back here on Wednesday, same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody. Have a nice weekend.